Okay, we're away. So here we go. We've got Phil Young, and Phil, tell us, you work with?
I work with Brisbane City Council, and my main role at Brisbane City Council. So I'm the team leader of the Environmental Planning and Flood Resilience team. So my team's got a mix of both planners and environmental managers,
Right,
and hydrological engineers.
Okay.
So we're a policy unit, but we have a range of awesome responsibilities that go beyond just policy.
Right.
So our key responsibilities during a flood go from our policy that we put in place, but also in dealing with the community. And our engineers often sit in the disaster office because of the intellect they use to support the disaster management approach while we're in an event.
Because that, just to go back to that policy, like post 2011, there was a lot of work done at Brisbane around what could the planning scheme or the development assessment process look like, and it's a pretty sophisticated level of risk scenarios that you look at, don't you?
Yeah, well, we're quite proud of our planning scheme and where it's come from and where it is now. We had the benefit post 2011 of having some pretty awesome English engineers coming in, and really they inspired us to think more about flood resilience than flood mitigation. And we're fortunate to come from unfortunate, I suppose, the other way to look at it is from a drought scenario to an extreme flood scenario. So we had a mix of professionals who had that ability to think just beyond engineering solutions. And so our planning scheme basically reflects the flood resilient thinking. And right at the back end at the moment, we've had the flood resilient suburbs program. And so that program included flood resilient homes. It's also sporting and clubs. It's also businesses and apartments. But in essence, we are trying to give support to those type of land uses or those uses so that we get to a point where the community can, I suppose, help themselves. Obviously, we've got a huge program that supports it, our planning mechanisms. We probably boast about one of the biggest mapping products, our portal, which is the flood information online. We've had that since...
It's been going for a while.
Yeah, it's like our first mapping product came in like 1996, I think it was. So we're a big organisation, and the benefit of that is quite a lot of investment in some really important stuff. So in your role, a lot of your clients are other internal colleagues that you're working with, but I suppose, for the development assessment team who look at individual proposal, the policy work is the foundation for them. But the external stuff is also happening during the big events, I suppose, with the team and the disaster. But in your role, what are some of the skills that you as an individual need to put into play? What is it? If someone replaced you tomorrow, what is it you'd say? Oh, you really need to use this. What would that be? I suppose my own skill set is that I've got a planning background. And what that enables me to do is have a really good general knowledge about a lot of things. So I suppose the skill set I'd say to somebody coming to replace me would be you've got to listen to all your technical officers, you've got to listen to all your stakeholders that are involved. And your role really is to help coordinate the best outcome that you can achieve for
council in the first place, community in the second place, and then obviously for our team and our policy directions.
Brisbane City Council is a big organisation, so it's sort of having all those resources is good. And I suppose, people are still saying in Brisbane, they still seem to be building on the floodplain, but the level of risk that you're dealing with then is recognised, and what is required is quite substantial, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, in the last, 2022, and now post-cyclone Alfred, or we like to call him Alfie. It's been quite confronting.
Right.
But in a funny sort of way, it's also comfortable because we've got a lot of really good systems that actually are working. And I'd say that there's a lot of talk around this conference that it was a bit of a fizzer. Well, I'm kind of debating that a bit because I think that that's right. Well, our response and our warnings lasted a long period of time. Which in essence meant that the community was ready and confident, ready and safe. And that's our mantra on one of our policy pieces.
In a way, to use the language, like the community was stood up, but they didn't necessarily have to act. But I think my view is, I was actually away, I was down in South Australia, but I was watching with eager eyes because my neighbours are saying, what do you want us to do at your house? And, So it was, I think everyone was waiting in anticipation. And then I think we were all relieved when it just slowed down and didn't have the oomph. So to me, it's a dress rehearsal that we needed to have.
And part of that dress rehearsal was the community getting ready to support each other again. And that's something that Brisbaneites are pretty good at, or very good at. And previously our Mud Army.
I even think of my own street, like people knew I had at least 3 different neighbours in different ones ring me, and knew I was away going, Pete, what can we do? So I reckon it's impressive.
Yeah. You see the true parts of the community in your own neighbourhood coming out. So everyone was outdoors when they felt comfortable to check on everyone else. So that's to me what the critical part of dealing with flood is about. And there's been some great presentations here that you've got to follow up your quality digital product with a conversation. So that to me is probably one of my biggest take-homes from this conference so far.
Hey, but in closing off, so what is it you enjoy about your job?
It's I'm crazy to enjoy it, I think. But what I enjoy is there's always something happening, and there's so much more we can do. So every day is a challenge. But probably most of all is my team, and the passion that I see in my team is what I see in this conference and the industry. It's that real intention to improve the knowledge of flooding for the community and to help the community. So I'm privileged to be a part of a pretty passionate industry.
That's good. Thanks, mate. That's great.
No worries.